And there we are. We are still on day 3 of Romford Horrific 2024, and we've just had another little section of shorts there. We had Manicure, Spiral to the Centre, Neonate, and Gateway of the Sun. And now we get the chance to speak to some of the creative minds behind these shorts. Do me a favour, make my job super easy. Let's go down the line. Tell us who you are, what project you were involved in.
I'm Scott Ampleford, co-writer, co-director, and a bunch of other stuff on Spiral to the Centre.
Alisha Stern, co-writer, co-director, many other hats on Spiral to the Centre.
I'm David Gibbs. I was involved in Gateway with these guys over here to my left.
My name's Bayliss, and I'm a writer, and I was in Gateway of the Sun.
I'm Doyle, and I made Gateway of the Sun directing.
So first of all, first question, nice easy one. Tell us a little bit about where the concept for your shorts came from and what made you want to tell that story.
Go guys.
After you.
Basically, we wanted to make a live-action film, which we'd never made before, Scott and I, and the story kind of just came out of just a film that we could make. It sort of combined our skills and interests and abilities, and we made it.
I've been interested in physical media for a really long time, and we did have a conversation about making a film about physical media, and as a music fan I know more about records than any other kind of physical media, and that seemed the right choice. And like Alisha said, perfect dovetailing of our two careers and talents. Alisha does everything visual and I'm all audio and music, so yeah.
I suppose with ours it was about what we could achieve with what we had. So it was essentially one HD camera and a couple of LED lights and a drone. So it was kind of trying to bring something together that had more about sound-driven stuff, because we were only in the woods, so there wasn't many locations. And just drawing influences from all the stuff we were really into. I mean, Silent Hill was a really big influence. I don't know if anyone knows that, but and also the sort of ending up in the film like a Kubrick film where we end up somewhere else, like in 2001 Space Odyssey. I really wanted to go somewhere completely different at the end. And then Grant took loads of influences because I approached Grant with the story, and then he got on the script. So where did your influences, do you think, come in, Grant? That one.
I lean into writing more like cult stuff. We've got a couple of features which are mainly cult driven, and Mikey's heavily into kind of that, and we just kind of our inspirations kind of align a lot. So it was like he offered me this story, and I scripted it. Although it was quite a long shoot, and the script kind of went out the window, and we just kind of we loosely stuck to it, but it was kind of we had a lot going on in our lives. So it was, but what you see there is the culmination of lots of things happening in and around our lives: COVID, childbirth, moving house, rewrites, stuff like that. But no, we're really interested in cult stuff, and that opening. should we say it? So that opening of that then was me and Mikey we were walking around Astridge Forest. That's up in Bedfordshire, mate. And there was this they were shooting Britannica on this in this woods, the whole like an episode, and they had this whole monolith, and they had this whole kind of cult ceremony going on. People just walking in. Mate, me and Mikey were just walking through the woods, and then there was these two people. They saw us, and they just started running towards us, and we just stood behind these trees, and these people run past us like that, looked at us, and then just ran off. And then we walked down to the set and stood behind the director, and people thought we were in the fucking film. And they were offering us food and stuff, and coffee and all sorts. And we were just like, mate, I'm going to get some of this footage, mate. I'm going to throw it in this short. Yeah. And it was kind of, so we stole some of that Britannica.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
That's found footage.
You've kind of thrown me off. But it's two very different shots and two very different ways to make them. You guys with your full documentary kind of thing, and you guys shooting out in the woods, running and gunning and stealing other people's stuff. What kind of challenges did you guys come up against in your respective shorts?
We had a fair few challenges. The biggest probably was losing our primary filming location 2 days before the shoot. Obviously, Alisha comes from New York, so she was flying over to shoot the film. It's all shot in Newcastle upon Tyne up north. And the day before she arrived, I was making all the phone calls to our actors and the shops that were letting us film and everything. And then the person that we were going to be stealing the flat of had COVID. So it interrupted us too. And we thought she was going to be fine, actually, because it was like, oh, we've got a few days before we start. And then she phoned me up and she was like, oh, I don't have COVID. I do, however, have a brain infection and I'm in hospital. So we're like, oh dear. So we ended up actually shooting all of Rick's apartment stuff in our director of photography's mum and dad's flat, which was great. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, and that was the last minute challenge. I mean, kind of before that, the challenge was, I mean, this was a short film, but the pre-production was absolutely monumental. We did 6 months of pre-production, and just the amount of stuff that we had to prepare before the shoot, because every time there was a screen in a shot, we had to make the screen ahead of time and prepare it. So every time when Rick is on eBay, when they're watching the news, when Rick is watching a YouTube video, I had to make everything ahead of time. And there was just a never-ending list of stuff. Just the amount that we bit off a lot more than maybe we thought we chewed it. But it was a lot. It was a mouthful of pre-production. There was so much, plus all the music. So just a huge amount of preparation, and then. You know, and I come from an animation background, not live action, so the stress of knowing we had like 5 days and only 5-day window to make all of this and everything to prepare, I've never experienced that challenge before. It was a brand new world for me, and we faced it, and we mostly did it. We mostly pulled it off. Mostly.
I think you pulled it off.
That was great.
Yeah, it's really
Thank
good.
you.
Really good.
I thought he was a YouTuber. I thought he was.
Well, yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Are you actually?
Well, yeah, sort of, but not
I am
doing
now.
that.
That's why
It was seamless. It was seamless. Honestly, it was so good.
we met making YouTube videos, so it kind of, again, this is like real life.
That's amazing.
So, Dave, challenges. What challenges did we have?
Well, I think some of the biggest ones were just the time scale it took. I mean, the film was shot over 4 years.
Wow.
And as I think Michael alluded to earlier, COVID intervened, and there was house moves and children being born. And then I think at one point, Michael had a cut of the film, and then his computer died. So all of the additional footage that he had that he wanted to slot in had vanished. So fortunately enough, I think you've taken an edit of it to a point.
An export. So I had one video of the whole movie.
And then we had to
Hard
tack
drive
on the
drive.
end. So, yeah, I mean, there was...
His hard drive ate itself
And then
while it was plugged in.
It destroyed the camera in water. You smashed the drone up.
Oh, of course,
And
yeah.
then I deleted
Everything, right?
And then I deleted the movie even just before this festival. And I found the email to come to this festival in my junk email, and it was like, "Where's the movie?" So it was just crazy.
It's amazing we're here, really. To be
Yeah.
when you think about it, it's just crazy.
Christ. It was all exterior as well, so we were all like in the elements and time and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah, lots of challenges. I think it's always difficult when you try and make something that looks sort of half professional, you know. So as I say, a lot of it was on kit lens as well, which is a terrible lens, but we just had to try our best with what we had. And you know, we kind of live nearby, but Carlina, the girl who's in the film, done a great job. She lives quite far away, so trying to match dates. And to be honest, by the time we got to the second part of lockdown, I thought, you know what, should we just forget this film? Like, let's just move on. But no, I stuck with it, and we ended up here, which is fantastic.
I just want to throw one thing in there. The scene where I wake up and there's snow everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Myself and Michael were looking to try and cut this bit of the movie, and we'd set a date, and obviously it'd been going on for 4 years, so we'd like, right, we need to get this done, we need to get this going. Everyone's doing loads of hard work in the background, and we woke up on the morning of the shoot, and it was white everywhere, and we were like,
Let's go and do it anyway.
we're just going to have to do it anyway, and just everyone can make of it what they will, you know. And we call it's called the gateway. So when people ask us, how did you get to that point? Why does that happen? We say, that's what happens at the gateway.
It's just an excuse we give for everything.
Paranormal.
Yeah, about it.
So what would you say in that case when you're facing the elements like that and you're facing challenges like that? What would you say you've maybe learned about filmmaking itself through that process?
I think do what they did and do 6 months of pre-production.
You know what I mean? Keep it interior.
And yourselves?
Do what they do and don't do 6 months of we were working on the film for nearly a year and a half, and the shoot was only like 4 days.
Jesus.
So it was just that it's a lot.
Was it all over Zoom?
Well, all the pre and post was all done. You know, once the film was shot, we both each had stuff that we needed to get on with.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing. Alisha actually cut the movie. And I was still doing the music. There's that much music, and the film's only, I was telling you earlier, the film's only like 29 minutes, and there's 2 hours of music that I wrote for it.
Great.
And because
those
of,
albums?
you can buy.
I love it when you help each other.
It's great.
Records, right?
If you were to go to scottampleford.bandcamp.com, you can actually buy the Spiral to the Centre album, which is 45 minutes worth of prog rock music, and then literally yesterday I released an album, Vortex. The fictional album Vortex now exists.
It's the one that
That's sick.
Rick buys off eBay.
That actually has her on the back.
That's me.
As a man.
That's so cool.
As a man. Yeah.
So good.
Weird one, but yeah. So yeah, my advice would be don't do what we did and do what they did, because I'm sure fun and exciting and great though the experience of making Spiral was, I think I'm now feeling very fond of the idea of just running around in the woods for a few
Go
weeks.
gorilla.
and
It's easier.
filming
We were
stuff.
really indoors.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I like the idea of you doing that, but 4 years, that's
Mate.
I'm very impatient.
Oh, we could do it in 6.
Mate, we had all sorts of stuff. He had kids, he had to move house like 15 times or something like that. I was writing a feature script for something in America, and everything was just against us.
And then
It was a
obviously
nightmare.
the world stopped with COVID 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just,
Yeah, it's sucked.
So we're going to start wrapping it up, but first of all, do me a favour and let everybody know what you're going on to next, what the next project is, what we can see in the future, and
Well, we're continuing to work together. We have a couple of projects in the pipeline at the moment. Alisha is first and foremost an animator, and everything we've done up to this has been an animated film, so we have a couple of animated projects in the pipeline, but we also have some outlines for some live action stuff going forward, and it's just...
Spiral the Center, the feature, maybe. We have an idea for it. We have, because the short's really just like 2 acts, so the feature is those 2 acts plus
100%.
longer, plus a 3rd act. We have it outlined, and it's a pipe dream, but we can't make it alone. So, one day.
Can I just quickly ask as well, if I was to buy the Vortex album and play it backwards, what would happen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We're going to reveal the secret?
so all of the messages that you see in the movie are actually in all the music. And some
Surreal.
there are messages in the full versions of music that aren't in the movie, but they're not all hidden in the same way.
Very nice. Easter eggs, I love it.
Every message is 100% real. If you put them in a spectrogram, it's really there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, real. That's all real.
Yeah.
That's all real. We invented like a whole alien language that isn't in the movie, and there's
That's 6 months.
6 months. 6 months. That's where it all went.
There was more alien language that got cut for time.
Yeah.
And you guys, what we're moving on to?
Well, just quickly, I'm doing something. We're in pre-production, so taking our time to a film that was trying to push more of a feature-length, sort of minutes, so we can distribute. And I think we've done a few short films and things, but I think we're trying to push it to the next step. So I'm currently in the concept of doing that, which is featuring these guys again acting, because sometimes it's better the devil you know. And Grant is working, because he's a writer, he's writing it for me for the concept, but then Grant has an agent and everything when he's writing, so he's kind of doing his other thing.
Yeah, so I've got a feature script about Russian Christianity, like that's just been in the pipeline for fucking years.
We like to take our time.
COVID trashed that, and there was a director on board in America, but he dropped out to direct something else, and then the industry got trashed by strikes and COVID and stuff like that. But we've got a feature script that's out of treatment now, 50 pages into the script, which is called Gas, Gas, Gas. So we're going to lean into that and try and get a feature, and we want to push into the UK industry and try and knock something out of the park with that. Dive straight into horror hard.
I like it. Yourself?
I'm following these guys. Wherever they go,
He's a DJ.
I'm right there.
He's a DJ.
DJ by trade, yes.
There you go.
Right, well, thank you so much for submitting your shorts to us and letting us show them here today. Thank you for being here and doing this. It's been absolutely awesome. Can we get a quick round of applause?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.